alright.
Hello, and welcome to Passion's Supernatural Podcast, a podcast dedicated to what we consider the best soap opera to ever exist, Passions. I'm Joe Velazquez. In the Zoom with me, I have my beautiful co-host, Casey Metcalf,
Hi, everybody.
who actually watched the show longer than I have, people. Can you believe it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Passions aired on July 5th, 1999 on NBC, all the way to September 7th, 2007, which was then picked up exclusively by DirecTV's The 101 network and started airing September 17th, 2007, and was sadly canceled on August 7th, 2008. Sad, wasn't it? Yeah,
Mm.
that's sad, everyone. But hey, at least it got a happy ending, right? So, Casey, welcome to the show. Glad you could
Thank you
be.
for having me.
Oh, I'm very glad that you could help me with this. It means a lot. Yes, yes. So Casey and I are both big Passions fans and everything. She watched it pretty much all the way to what the you cut off with what would be the final season, right?
Yep, back in '07.
Right. Yeah, I actually started, I can't remember what year it was, but I myself actually started back in back during it the show ran for what, 8 seasons, 9 seasons. It ran for 9 seasons. So I started watching in either season 6, 7, or 8, one of those, and obviously I saw the final season, and then so I missed a lot. But anyways, and also welcome to those of you watching us online on YouTube for one whole hour every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. New episodes of Passion Supernatural Podcasts will be airing exclusively on YouTube, so please be sure to tune in. We'll be talking as much as we can about the soap Passions, the characters, the soap opera, the storylines, the actors, the sets, the craziness, the magic, you name it, as much as we can for a full hour. And even better news, hopefully, hopefully, after the beginning episodes, appearing alongside us, we will be interviewing some Passions cast members. That's right. Yep, but we can all hope for that. Can you believe it? We don't know who we're going to get yet, but we're looking. Maybe we'll get Teresa, Ethan, Sheridan, Luis, maybe even Tabitha. you,
Yeah.
you, you never know. We'll soon see. But but for now or whatever, it's just this is what we have for right now, and let's hope that this is the best way that we can remember the beloved soap opera Passions. I mean, I already remember it by my shirt here and all, yeah. So why don't we get this show on a rolling and everything? Why don't we start off, Casey? Why don't you tell us or whatever how were you first introduced to Passions? How did you come upon it? How were you introduced? You want to tell us your little story?
Well, my sister, actually, she was watching something on TV, and I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, it's a show called Passions, okay? At first, wasn't getting into it. Into the second day of it, I'm like, okay, maybe this is not a bad show. So I start watching it, and then I got into it. I was in fifth grade when I started watching Passions. Fifth grade.
Fifth grade. Dang. Man, that is supernatural. Wow. So fifth grade, you started, yeah. Like I said, I started late and everything. Like I said, it was either season 6, 7th, or 8th, probably 7th, but it might have been 6th, somewhere around there. I was just scrolling through the TV, scrolling through the cable, looking for something to watch one day, and I stumbled upon it one day, and it just happened to be right in the middle. If you all remember from the show, for all of you Passions lovers out there, for those of you that do remember it, I came upon it right during the episode, during it, right during the moment in the episode where Kay was actually trying to choose between Fox and Miguel
And
to
Miguel.
marry.
Yep.
Exactly. She didn't know which one to choose. Who do you think she chose? Fox. So, and the story went on from there. And right then and there, I was hooked immediately. I was hooked just like that from the very beginning, and went on through all that stuff of like with there being a fake Charity and a fake Miguel, and a Fox pretending to be ill, and Vincent, having sex with Chad, and all these storylines that just went on from there. I was like, this is a totally different kind of soap opera and all that. It was that was how I was introduced to it. It was just crazy, and I loved it ever since. I didn't want to miss an episode. I'd come home from school every day, and I'd have it recorded on my DVR. I didn't want to miss it. Yeah. Uh, so tell me Casey, why don't you tell me what you got any favorite memories of the show?
Oh, let's see here. I
Anything you can
remember
think
Teresa used to love Ethan. She had a crush on him.
of?
They was at the carnival, and her brother told her to have a job there.
Luis.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Teresa didn't want to work there.
Who would?
Yeah. And then Teresa was a waitress, and she ran into Ethan and spilled drink all over him.
I remember that. Well, I watched it
Yeah.
later, but yeah. And I remember stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't like Luis that much in the beginning. I loved him later, but in the beginning, I thought of him as just a pretty bad control freak brother. I didn't like him at all in the beginning. So yeah, I remember that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. For me, um, my memories, my memories, amazing as it is mainly from the final season. To be totally honest, what would turn out to be the final season and everything, because like I said, even though I was watching since the episode of Kay trying to choose between Fox and Miguel to marry, and I kept on watching it, a lot of the stuff that I do remember was mainly from the final season and everything. All the stuff of Tabitha trying to do evil just so that she could get Endora back, and Kay trying to stop her despite the fact that she wanted Miguel back, and remembering how um after all after nine seasons, Teresa still trying to find ways to get Ethan, and then Gwen and Rebecca were stooping as far as to actually contact Pilar's nemesis, Juanita. That storyline was, oh my crap. And amazing as this is, most people will probably they'll they'll definitely disagree with me on this one, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to deny this. Probably my favorite memory was especially like I said, mostly from the final season, because that's what I remember. Was pretty much it was when Endora and Miguel returned from hell, because that was when actor Blair Redford took over the character of Miguel. And like I said, most people would disagree with me, but Blair Redford was my favorite of all three actors to play Miguel, going from Jesse Metcalf to Adrian Bellani and landing on Blair Redford. Blair was my favorite. I know that he was not a well liked Miguel actor amongst fans. People did not care for him when he took over, but he made Miguel my favorite character. So that that was probably my favorite memory. The very minute that he appeared alongside with Endora, I at first I was like thinking, is that a new Miguel? I'm like, yeah, it is. And then the further it went on, I was like, I like this guy. This guy really has a thing for it. Yeah, I like this guy. And so that's probably my favorite memory of them all, was when he aired on the show and everything. And he's actually been one of my favorite actors ever since. I've seen him in many things since then. Well, not many, but a good lot of things. So yeah. Um, so so going on and everything. So tell me, Casey. I mean, out of all the years that you did watch it and everything up until when you stopped and everything, I mean, what are your thoughts with like on the characters and everything? I mean, did you have any favorites? Did you have any dislikes or love likes or approvals or disapprovals or like what do you think on the characters and all
Um, I like Luis. I
that?
used to thought he was hot.
Oh yeah, Luis Lover. Mm.
And I like Teresa too, because Teresa, I like that she has faith and love, and
Kind of along
so
my area.
hmm I like the love scenes in it.
So at a soap opera is, it's all about
Yep.
romance. It's a soap opera.
Yep.
Yeah. I had quite a few. As I said, once Blair Redford took over as Miguel, he made Miguel my favorite character of the show for and even if it was only in the final season. But I also had a very big thing for Noah. Noah was probably my second favorite and everything. I just really loved his romantic ways with Paloma and everything. I mean, come on, he and Paloma were my favorite couple and all or whatever. So I always had a big thing for Noah and everything. Thought he was a very romantic, daring kind of guy. And actually, I mean, I know he was. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, in the final season when they go to find Teresa with Juanita, I know that Noah wasn't related to Pilar, but it kind of surprised me a little bit that he actually didn't go with Ethan, Luis, and Miguel to find Teresa. I mean, he seemed like that kind of a character that would actually team up with them to go to find, Pilar and Teresa and everything. A surprise. I know he wasn't a Lopez Fitzgerald, but still. But him, but also this one's probably gonna shock a lot of people. But to go along with Miguel and Noah, probably my other favorite along with them. Again, this is going to surprise a lot of people, including you. I liked Vincent. I really did. I know that's crazy. I know that's nuts and everything, but he, um, he was actually my favorite villain. He was my favorite villain, even more so than Alistair. I just loved it that he was this character that was a hermaphrodite, had both who was born both sexes. He had split personalities between Vincent and Valerie and all of that, and he was like the one that you would least expect to turn out to be the freaking blackmailer that was ruining everybody's lives of harmony. You would not expect him at all or whatever, especially with that disguise. You would not expect it and all that or whatever. So when he revealed himself to be the blackmailer, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" I could not believe it. And he was just such a real threat. He was really willing to show no mercy and everything. He didn't care. He was just badass. So
Yeah.
yeah. So with those characters, I mean, like I said, Miguel, Noah, and Vincent, those three were my favorite of the of characters and such and so and yeah I've got to say or what I've got to say or whatever I must ask or whatever this question or whatever. This kind of goes along with what I was talking about with once Blair Redford took over. This is something more for you. Did you have any favorite of the cast members of the originals and the recasts? I mean, did you have any favorites or ones that you did not like or anything of that, Casey?
Um, I don't like Rebecca or Ivy. How
Well,
they yeah, Ivy.
well, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the actors that played the cast members, that played the characters.
Uh,
I'm talking about like whenever of the original cast members and then later on they would be another actor would take over the role. Did you have any like preferences or dislikes or anything
mm,
like or favorites or anything like that? You know what I mean?
I like the Force K when she first came on.
She was my favorite too. She was my favorite of the K's. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Heidi very much, but Taylor was my favorite.
Yep.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I said Blair was my favorite Miguel and everything. Taylor is my favorite K and everything. And even though most people most people are really what's the word I'm looking for? Most people will probably be shocked by this, but I actually prefer Maureen McCormick as Rebecca over the late Andrea Evans. I loved Andrea Evans, but I just thought that even though Maureen McCormick was only there for only like what 4 episodes, I've lost track, some 4 or 5 episodes, she was just more evil in the character, and she made the character more threatening. Whereas Andrea Evans, I felt like she I felt like she just made Rebecca into this goofball, and it was almost like that evil Rebecca just disappeared, and she transformed into this clown that was always getting drunk all the time and was just being a buffoon, if you know what I mean. I kind of wish that Maureen McCormick had come back. So,
Mm.
yeah. Um, you ever hoping that Passions comes back?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh,
It'll be nice. It'll be
absolutely.
nice if they get everybody together again and reunite and then get back filming the show and stuff.
I've
It'll be nice.
Yeah, I've thought about a lot of things. I mean, they would need to really do some big time. They would need to do some big time thinking it over if they were to do it because I mean, we lost Ben Masters who was Julian and we lost Andrea Evans who was Rebecca. We lost them both. So they would need to either recast or give an explanation as to why those characters are not there and all that, and not to mention they would have to do one of two things. They would have to either set it years after the original ended, or they would have to use magic for this or whatever, but somehow they would have to age Endora because Nicole Cox is no longer that adorable little girl anymore. They would need to make her age and everything. So they would
Mm.
have to either use magic to make her grow into an adult, or they
Mm.
would have to make it years later where they get Nicole Cox back and the character is older now and everything, and she's not a little girl. But they would, and also, I mean, I've spoken to Mackenzie Westmore, who played Sheridan, on a few TikTok lives and everything, and she has actually said that she wouldn't mind coming back. She wouldn't mind redoing it, but she said that I've already told her that I would not approve of this, but she has actually said that if the show was to come back and if they wanted her to come back, she would not come back if Louise and Sheridan were not going to be together.
Mm.
She would not do it. She said that she would not do it if Louise and Fancy were going to be together. She didn't like
Mm.
the ending. She didn't like the ending, and neither did Galen Gehring, who played Louise. They did not like the ending. They wanted Louise and Sheridan together. I think a lot of fans did. I'm a team Louise and Fancy person. I
Mm.
like the way the show ended with the couples and everything, but most people would disagree with me on that. And but no, Mackenzie Westmore said that she would come back. They would just need to figure out some sort of a way to get Louise and Sheridan back together and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know what they would do with Antonio now that he's back. If they put Luis and Sheridan together, I don't know what they would do with Antonio. I mean, he just came back for the ending and all that, and I'm also to understand as well. Mackenzie has also said that they have not heard from Emily Harper, who plays Fancy, at all. It's almost like she disappeared. I asked Dylan Fergus, who played Noah. I asked him on Instagram. He said that he saw her a few years ago, but he thinks that she stopped acting. Um, and
It'll
all
be,
that. Yeah, very
yeah.
well. Yeah, I mean, my roommate has actually asked me 1 or 2 times, "You don't think she died, do you?" And I'm like, "I don't think she died."
No,
No,
because it will say on the news or something.
it amazes me that because of how she's disappeared, it amazes me that she's got a Wikipedia. She actually has a Wikipedia and she's like nowhere to be found. I loved her, Emily Harper. I loved her a lot. I loved her as Fancy, one of the most beautifulest actresses and one of the beautifulest women I've ever seen in my life, and we can't find her
Mm.
anywhere. Um, what do you actually think of? I mean, I don't know if you watch the show, Casey, yourself. I don't know if you watch the show or if you've seen any of it, but what did you actually think of it kind of being in a way it was sort of a passions reunion when Galen, Eric, and Lindsay all joined Days of Our Lives.
Well, I like Dates of Our Lives too. I think it's a good thing for them to reunite again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I bet you probably didn't even know this, but there was actually another one. Actually, Pretty was actually on Days. She was in Melinda Sword. She wasn't a major character. She was only there for like 2 or 3 episodes, somewhere around there. She played a nun who helped Galen Gering's character, but she was on there too. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm still to this very day, even though most fans won't even really remember that much, but still to this very day, I am not happy at all that they killed off Lindsay Hartley's character Ariana on Days or whatever. It was a Passions reunion altogether. It was the same family connection. I mean, Lindsay Hartley played Galen Gering's sister and Eric Martzoff's lover all over again and all that, and then they decided to kill off Lindsay Hartley. Apparently, Galen and Eric they don't like that neither. They didn't like it that they killed her off neither, and I really feel like they should use that drug that they have in Salem that can bring people back to life and everything, and they should use it to bring Ariana back. But a few of my friends say that she's been gone for so long that not very many people will even remember her. I still think that she was Brady Black's best girl out of all the girls that he's been with. So, but and I also a lot of times like to say, I will just point this out. I like to say that I think that Luis and Rafe, Galen's character on Days, I feel like they're the same character. I really do. I don't think that they're the same, just the same actor. I think they're the same character because if you think about it, they are both the same ethnicity. Well, they're obviously both played by the same actor. They both come from a big family, just like Luis came from the Lopez Fitzgerald family. Well, Rafe comes from the Hernandez family. Um, they both work for the law. The only real difference is that Luis was always a cop, whereas when we very first met Rafe for the very first time, he worked for the FBI, and later on he became a cop. So now he's a cop, but he started off working for the FBI, and they both seem to fall for blondes and everything. I mean, Luis fell for Sheridan and Fancy, whereas Rafe fell for Sammy. And he also was married to Nicole for a short time too. But they both seem to go for blondes. If you ask me, I really think the only difference is I think that Rafe might be a little bit older than Luis was. I think Luis might have been a little bit younger than Rafe, but I think that they're the same character and everything if you look at it. Whereas Ethan and Brady, they're totally different. They are like totally. And Eric Martzoff has even mentioned that, and he's actually loving this. He's actually loving that about Days of Our Lives right now. Eric Martzoff, he's actually has said that that Ethan was a do-gooder, basically all vanilla ice cream and everything. And when he first came on as Brady, originally they started off being very similar when he first came on. Ethan and Brady were very similar when he first came on. Originally, he was walking around the park, kind of playing Dr. Phil, being Dr. Phil, and all that, like patting people on the shoulder. How you doing? Is everything okay? I want you to get excited about your life. He was like that dude. But but then, lo and behold, Brady has some problems now and everything. Now he's completely different from what Ethan was on Passions. That was one of the things that made Ethan so beloved was how good he was. Whereas Brady on Days, I mean, he got a shadow, he's got some hair on his face. Ethan would never have hair on his face and everything. Um, and he's getting himself drunk and he's constantly drinking and he in the earlier seasons when he got so incredibly drunk he went and beat the crap out of EJ, which is something I can never imagine Ethan ever doing. I can never imagine him getting that violent. I mean, yeah, he might get into a fight, but as far as Brady took it, oh god, he almost killed EJ. and
mm,
everything, um, 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 and stuff like that, and um, yeah, so they're pretty different. He's right now basically just being kind of a dad figure right now, Brady on the show, but he's pretty different than Ethan. And then finally with Lindsay Hartley, Teresa, and Ariana, they're very, very, very different too. Because I mean, well, what have you not said about Teresa? You're right. I mean, Teresa was all about fate and about love and believing that the right thing will happen, and she was just that passionate, loving woman. Whereas Ariana,
mm,
no, Ariana is completely opposite. Ariana is more along the lines of what Brady is. She also was a I think she was a druggie. I think she was, if that was right. I think she was a druggie. I think in the beginning and all that stuff, everything. She was a druggie and all that stuff. And she also just like Luis and Rafe. I mean, she's the sister of Rafe, just like Teresa was the sister of Luis and all of that. And she came from the Hernandez family and stuff like that. But she was nothing like Teresa at all. Really the only thing about Ariana and Teresa that were the same was their sweetness. They were both very, very sweet characters, but other than
mm.
that, they were very, very different. So that I just can't believe that they actually did that. They had a passions reunion right there, and they just break it off by having Ariana get hit by a car,
Mm.
kill her off like that, and everything. And so, um, speaking of actors and everything, have you seen, aside from Days of Our Lives, have you seen any of the cast of Passions on anything else? Have you seen them on any other movies or any other shows or anything?
Well, last night I stayed with my friend. She's into LMN movies.
Mm,
Well, I saw like Sam Bennett. I think his name's James. Is his name James? Yeah, I saw him in the movie, some movie
who was this again?
actually. Mm-hmm.
Who are we talking about? Who was this again?
Sam Bennett,
James Hyde. James Hyde.
James Hyde. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him in this one. I saw him in this one movie on Lifetime where he played a bad guy, where he actually played a bad guy. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, I saw him on that. Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else you've seen at all?
mm, I don't think so. Only him.
Right. Yeah. I've I've seemed to have really gotten around when it comes to the Passions
Mm,
cast and everything. I mean, like I said, I mean Galen Gehring has been on Days, for a good long time and everything. Outside of Days of Our Lives with Eric Martzoff, outside of him playing Brady on Days, I also saw him on an episode of Smallville back in the day where he played Booster Gold.
mm,
So I saw him on that. Lindsay Hartley, I've seen in a few things. She's really gotten herself out there. She did a lot of she's done a lot of Hallmark movies and a lot of Lifetime movies. She's directed a number of Hallmark films and stuff like that. She was in this one movie. I forget what it was called. It was like something nurse. I really can't remember. She said that her character that she played reminded her of Teresa and everything,
mm,
and I think if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've seen it. I think she might have been the bad guy of that movie. She like of this bad nurse. I can't remember, but I think so. It's been a while, but she's done a lot of Hallmark and Lifetime films. She's really made a name for herself on that. I saw James Hyde in that Lifetime movie that I mentioned, where he was a villain for once instead of playing chief of police. He was out there causing the bad stuff. Um, John Riley, may he rest in peace, the late John Riley, who was the final Alistair. he used to be on Beverly Hills 90210, playing Jenny Garth's character of Kelly's father. So it was kind of interesting seeing him play that compared to the mob boss Alistair on Passions. He was kind of a good guy on Beverly Hills 90210. That was real. Um, Vincent, I don't know if you knew this or not. This is something a lot of fans who know the actor Philip Jean Marie. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. Jean Marie. I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Something like
Philip,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He not only, I mean, most people who know the actor, they know him from Passions, but he's also a Power Ranger. Yeah,
Mm,
he's a Power Ranger. I did not watch his season. I'm a big Power Rangers fan. I love the Power
I
Rangers.
was too. Yeah.
I didn't see his
As
season.
a kid.
He's a Blue Ranger. I didn't see his season, but that's whenever people mostly see him, they either know him from Passions or Power Rangers. And it was kind of funny, really. Back in the day, I'll never forget watching the episode where on Passions where he was finally arrested, where it was finally revealed that he was the one that framed Luis, and Luis was freed from being executed and all that stuff, and they arrested him. I'll never forget, my very good friend was sitting there watching it, and he goes, "Isn't he a?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that's him." And he goes, "So this is what he's doing when he's not out saving the world."
Mm,
And
mhm.
so yeah, so he's a Power Ranger, and he's, I guess you could say, he's a cross-dressing Power Ranger. So I couldn't believe this was from her younger days, but Amy Castle, who played Vicky, um Esme's niece, she this was from her younger days. She was on an episode of Lizzie McGuire back in the day. It was one episode, but she was a young teenager back then compared to where she is now. But
Trying to be like Lissy, trying to dress like who, and
that was
I
her.
remember the episode. Yep.
That was her. Yep, exactly. Like, I think that's what it was called, just like Lizzie or something. Yeah, I love Lizzie McGuire, so that was her. And look at her now. She grew up on Passions. Yep. Who else? I've seen Blair Redford in a lot of things since Passions. I mean, oh my God, where do I begin with him? Because I'm really a big fan of him. I'm a huge fan of him. I saw Switched at Birth, The Lion Game. He was in this horror comedy called Dance of the Dead, which is basically a parody of Night of the Living Dead. It's called Dance of the Dead. Um, he was a guitar player on that, a rock star guitar player. Um, he um, he was in it was a small role. I really can't remember if he had any lines. I can't remember, but he had a name, and he was on there. He was in that movie Burlesque with Christina Aguilera and Cher. Like I said, it was a small role. I can't remember if he had any lines, but he had a name. Um, I did not see him in that one X-Men thing that he did. I unfortunately did not see him in that. But yeah, I've seen him in quite a bit because he was my favorite on the show. Um, Mackenzie Westmore, Sheridan, I saw her on All My Children. She was on
Oh,
there for,
really?
yeah, she was a villain on All My Children as a nurse. And Mackenzie Westmore actually told me on TikTok the reason why she was on there for such a short time was because she quit the show. She didn't like the character or something like along those lines. I can't remember, but she just didn't like it. So she said, "Get the character off of there. I quit." And so they just killed her off. But she was on that. She used to be on Face Off. A lot of people know her from that. I think I've
Mm.
only saw one episode of her on Face Off when they did a Wizard of Oz episode. I saw her. She was on that. Now, I will say this, since we're talking about other things I've seen cast members on. Here's one that not very many people know, because not very many people know of this movie. I saw both her and Heidi Murray, or Heidi Muller, whatever you want to call it, the final K, both of them together in this one horror movie called Vile. And the movie is not really heard of. Not very many people know the movie. But Mackenzie Westmore played the bad guy, she was a very small character in that her job was to lure the victims,
Mm.
and Heidi was one of the victims, and she ends up dead in the end. So they really didn't even have any scenes together, but they both were in that movie together, so that was great seeing Sheridan and Kay reunited. Um, well, I mean, mostly everybody knows Jesse Metcalf. I mean, Desperate
Yeah.
Housewives and Dallas, and I didn't see Dallas, but I know him on that and everything. And I also temporarily met Jesse temporarily on a cameo call. Me and my roommate met him temporarily for like what 2 minutes we met him. Um, I know that Adrian Bellani actually doesn't even go by the second Miguel. He doesn't go by that name anymore. He now goes by something like that. I can't remember his new name, but he doesn't go by Adrian Bellani anymore. He
Mm.
he's married to I don't know if any of you fans out there or if you Casey ever watched this. He's married to Jennifer Morrison, who I know from Once Upon a Time. So
Yeah, I know that show.
So that's really interesting whenever I watch Once Upon a Time and I know that the
Mm.
main character of it, Emma Swan, is married to the second Miguel of Passions. Um, who else? Who else? What do I gotta say? Maureen
Mm.
McCormick. Come on. Marsha. It's Marsha Brady
Mm.
for crying out loud. Rebecca Hotchkiss is Marsha Brady. So what can I
Mm.
say about that? Um, who else was on the show that I've seen? Oh man, going back to Passions. Um, um, I've I haven't Silvana Arias, who played the original Paloma. I haven't seen her in anything else, but I've messaged her a little bit here and there on Instagram a few times, and she has actually responded. Same thing with Dylan Fergus, who played Noah. I haven't really seen him in anything else, but he's told that I've talked to him on Instagram a few times. He's retired now, he says. Um, Poor Bruce French, who played Father Lonigan, passed away. May he rest in peace, our beloved Father Lonigan.
I
Uh,
liked him on Neil too.
yeah, he was also on one or two episodes of Beverly Hills 90210. He made a cameo appearance in like one or two episodes of that. As I think a doctor on there actually. He was a doctor on there and a father, a priest on Passions.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh, I haven't seen Juliet Mills in anything. Tabitha, I have not seen her in anything. And since we're talking about Passions and the cast members and all that, we gotta say this. We can't talk about Passions without talking about the beloved Josh Ryan Evans, who played Timmy.
Yeah.
We can't go without talking about him. I only saw him in The Grinch outside of Passions, but oh man, that's a that's a very sensitive topic on poor him. I mean, I know
Yeah,
Juliet.
I liked him too. Too
Yeah,
bad he passed.
on the very day that his character passed. Yeah, the very day. I mean, he really um I know Juliet Mills loved him very much, and she was really devastated when he was gone. Um, and he was so talented for a 20-year-old. He was so talented. Size
Yeah.
3'2" and size toddler 4, and poor little Timmy. I mean, he was such a beloved character, and I don't know if you know this, but they were planning on bringing him back. They were planning on bringing him back, but since his actor died, they couldn't. So yeah, yeah, I feel like that would be a terrible thing to be on a Passions podcast and not talk about beloved Josh Ryan Evans. I mean, ugh, we all miss him, and his spirit lives on forever with us. Um, going back to what I was talking, I have not seen Liza Huber, who plays Gwen. I have not seen her in anything.
Nope, I
Um,
haven't either.
yeah, I mean, her mother, Susan Lucci, sent me an autograph in the mail, but I haven't heard anything from Liza. Um, like I said, Andrea Evans passed away, who continued on as Rebecca. she what shocked me about her is that she was from my home city of Aurora. That's where she was from, my home city of Aurora, Illinois.
Mm,
I was really shocked when I found that out. I was like, oh wow, somebody from where I'm from.
mm,
Um, 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 I mentioned Heidi. Um, Emily Harper has disappeared. I haven't seen her in. Erin Cardillo, who played Esme, if I remember correctly, I didn't necessarily see her exactly, but I hear that she was I hear she's somebody of Disney, and I think that she was in I don't know if she was a main character or if she was just a guest appearance. I'm not sure, but I believe she was on a show called like on a Disney Channel show called Jessie. I think I've never
Jesse, yeah.
yeah, I never watched Jessie, but I think she might have made a I don't know if she was a main character or if she just made a guest appearance or something. I think I heard she was on there. Yeah,
And the
you're
little boy that played on Jesse, he passed away also too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Mm.
His name was
I
Cameron.
didn't watch Jessie. I just know of the show. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, I'm trying to think. Ava Tamargo. I haven't really, who played Pilar. I haven't really seen her in anything neither. I was actually kind of disappointed when I found out on Days of Our Lives that they were actually going to bring on the Hernandez mother, Rafe's mother, was going to appear. I was like thinking that would be the perfect opportunity to bring Ava Tamargo on as Rafe's mother, and it would be Pilar and Luis reunited, but it wasn't her. It was somebody
Mm,
else. But I haven't really seen her in anything. Um, Tracy Ross, years ago, like around maybe 16 or 2016, 2017, sometime around there, on Facebook, she had messaged me once or twice. She told me that she's retired, who played Eve, Eve Russell. She's retired from acting. So I guess there's not much to say really much about seeing her in anything. I didn't really see her in anything outside of Passions. Um, Poor Ben Masters, Julian, passed away, sadly no longer with us. It's going to be hard
yeah.
to do Passions if he's not there. What are they going to do about Julian if they ever decide to bring the show back? Um, who else?
Um,
Who else? If you can think of anybody, I mean, who else was there? I forget his name, Christopher something, who played Spike. Um, I think he's made himself a pretty big name, but really the only thing that I ever saw him in outside of Passions was he made a cameo, like a cameo appearance, just like I've said for some of the other people, Beverly Hills 90210. He made a
mm,
cameo on that too, just like the others that I named. But I think
mm,
he's made himself something of a big name. I think he's done a lot, but nothing that I've seen. So Spike, yeah, feel kind of bad for his character. His story is never even wrapped up. You never find out what happens to Spike by the time the show's ended. He's never arrested. He's never killed off. He just kind of disappears after everything. Oh, and there's a few there's a few that we haven't talked about was the actresses that played Jessica. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she's a
mm,
big name now. I mean, come on, she's done a lot of movies. And
mm.
not to mention, she's also currently dating amazing actor Ewan McGregor. She's dating him now and everything, and but she has done a good number of movies. So it's actually she was my favorite of the Jessicas, the very first one, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So it's actually kind of cool to find out that she has made such a big name for herself. Jade Harlow, she for a short time appeared on Days of Our Lives as well. She played one of Lucas's lovers, Cheryl something. Um, but she was on there temporarily. And for a time, I was speaking to her on Facebook, but not for very long. And Danica Stewart, the final Jessica, I don't know. I haven't seen her in anything else. Um, Another one who I've seen in a few things was who temporarily played Fox, temporarily filling in for Justin Hartley, Nick Stabile. He's another one that has sort of made himself something of a big name. Most people know him amazingly. Most people know him from Bride of Chucky. That was kind of his big start. Nick Stabile, Bride of Chucky. But he not only was on Passions, he was actually kind of my second favorite Fox after Justin Hartley. I like him in almost all he does. He was also he was temporarily on Days of Our Lives as a villain. Yeah, he played a bad guy on Days of Our Lives, and oh man, a very bad guy. I mean, come on, holding Hope and Sierra hostage until Bo breaks in and beats the crap out of them and all that and everything. He was like, wow. I'm like thinking, man, that's temporary Fox. Wow, look at him here. I also saw him in another movie that I saw him in a Christmas movie, a Christmas family movie called Santa Junior, where he plays Santa Claus's son. That's like a really really interesting role for him, and he does it great. I love watching that and knowing that that's temporary Fox. And the guy from Bride of Chucky and everything. I love Nick Stabile. He's one of my favorites. I want to see him in more. And that kind of brings me to Justin Hartley. I mean, well, there's Smallville and everything, which I really didn't watch very much of, but he's somebody else who he's made something of a name for himself, but nothing I've ever watched. Um, I've not seen Mark Weistrack, who was the final Fox in anything. I think he's a band member or something. I don't know for sure, but I think so. He was the final Fox. I think he might be a band member, but I could be wrong on that. But I haven't seen him in anything. I have not seen Anya Geelan, who was the second Paloma. I've not seen her in anything since Passions. Um, Melinda Sword, who I mentioned, like I said, I only saw her in like two or something episodes as a nun on Days of Our Lives, and that's it. Other than that, just Passions. So that's Pretty Crane. She went on. I guess she must have escaped it. She must have, you know, what happened with her on Passions. She must have got out, and she went on to become a nun. I guess. I mean, um, um, who else is there? I mean, can you think of anybody else that I haven't mentioned? I mean, oh man, there's so many characters. I mean, poor David Bailey, who was the original Alistair, he passed away sadly. So both Alistairs are no longer, well, of the physical Alistairs, that is. Alan Oppenheimer, who was the voice of the Alistair at the desk. I mean, he's still with us, but I mean,
About IP Crane, which is
Kim Ulrich. Yes, I haven't seen her in very much. I saw her in this horror comedy. Funny as this is, I saw her in this horror comedy movie of Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, there's actually a horror comedy film of Rumpelstiltskin out there, and she's the main female character who Rumpelstiltskin hunts down so that he can kidnap her kid and everything. So she's not a blonde in that neither. So it's kind of interesting seeing her as not that blonde. But I also saw her in a cameo on the show Lois and Clark. Lois and Clark, she made a cameo. Um, so yeah, that's Ivy. Um, 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 hmm. Ugh, makes me struggle because there's so many characters on Passions. I mean, and went on for how long I've watched it and didn't watch it. Uh, oh well, Dana Sparks, who played Grace and Faith, I I could swear I saw her on something, maybe like a guest appearance, but I can't remember. And oh my god, how could I forget Charity? Oh my god, Molly Stanton.
really
And how can I
Molly.
forget about
Yeah,
beloved Charity? Yeah, I love Charity.
I like Chili. I
Yeah,
like her
I
on
mean,
there too.
I'm glad that Kay ended up with Miguel, but I did love Charity and Miguel's relationship regardless. Um, Molly Stanton, she was in something else. about a few years ago, but I didn't see it, so I'm not entirely sure with Molly. I didn't. I haven't seen her really in anything outside of Passions. Um, um, man, I'm starting to think that might bring us to the end of everybody that we can think of that was on the show. I mean, I'm sure there were others, but the ones that
What about the fourth Ethan?
fourth Ethan.
The
Oh,
the
Travis,
fourth.
Travis, the first one, Travis. Yeah, I haven't seen him in anything, but I know that he is somebody kind of big. He has kind of made a big name for himself, but I haven't seen him in anything else. A friend of mine knows him from something, another show. I just don't know what it is, and I didn't see it. So yeah, um, there was actually a temporary. Many people have forgotten about him. I think Rib Hillis was his name. He was a third Ethan. He temporarily took over for Eric Martzoff, but I don't even know who he is. I remember him very, very briefly. He was just there for such a
Yeah.
short time. I also don't remember the temporary Teresa neither while Lindsay Hartley was on temporary leave. I really don't remember her very well, or because she was only there for a short time while Lindsay Hartley was away for um, having her baby. Um, but yeah, that's right about Travis. Yeah, boy. Uh, oh, TC. Rodney Van Johnson, I think his name is, who played TC Russell. I have not seen him in anything. I know he's good buddies with James Hyde, but I have not seen him in anything.
Mm.
I really don't even remember very much of his character, and how could I forget? Oh my, that brings to more. Whitney, Brooke Kerr, she's on General Hospital right now. She's a main character on General Hospital. I don't
What about
watch.
Simone?
Yeah, all the Simones. I don't. I don't remember which one, but one of the because there were three of them. One of the Simones um was made a guest appearance on an episode of Keenan and Kel on Nickelodeon. I just don't remember which one. It wasn't the first one, Lena. It wasn't Lena. It might have been the last one. It might have been the third Simone. It might have been
Mm.
her, I think, if I remember correctly. But my favorite Simone, Lena Cardwell, I have not seen her in anything else. And the second Simone, I haven't seen in anything neither. So yeah, I can't forget about them neither. And that also reminds me, the second K, Deanna Wright, haven't seen her in anything neither. She also is somebody else that I haven't seen in anything else. And I also have not seen the second Charity in anything else. I can't remember her name. The actress that took over as Charity after Molly, I have not seen her in anything neither.
Mm.
Um, yeah, see, the more you think about certain people, that leads you to other characters.
Yeah.
But no, I've really gotten around with my passions cast. I always seem to know somebody. Even looking at my shirt here and everything. I pretty much have named everybody on it. So,
Mm.
um, so yeah. The passions cast really seem to have really set their mark. They really, Lindsay Hartley even temporarily she filled in every once in a while. She filled in every once in a while on General Hospital whenever what's her name? I forget her name. Who played Sam on General Hospital before the character was killed off? Whenever she couldn't be around, Lindsay Hartley would temporarily fill in for Sam on General Hospital. But now the character of Sam is dead, which I'm so upset about.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, that really that's everybody for passions and all, and the yeah, it and so far I've only met the only ones that I have ever met out of them was Galen and Eric in person, and I met Philip who played Vincent on the phone. I met Ivy's husband, Kim Ulrich. I met her husband on the phone when he was on the road, and I met Lindsay Hartley on the phone for like 2 minutes, but that's about it. But other than that, I mean, those are all of who I've met from Passions. That's it. Yeah. Um, oh, and I temporarily, like for like 2 minutes, talked to Juliet Mills on the phone as well, Tabitha, and Nicole Cox, poor adorable little Lindora, all grown up now. I mean, I don't even know what she looks like now to even know if I've seen her. She doesn't have a Wikipedia. She's all grown up now. I don't know what she looks like. So, um, it's so I mean, they, like I've said, they've seemed to have really set themselves a mark on this world and everything, and I'm hoping to see more of them. And um, I just really, I really hope that there are other projects in the works for them. Like I said, it seems like I think that Mary Elizabeth Winstead might be the most successful who played the first Jessica. At least that I can think of. I could be wrong on that. So fans out there, don't hate me. I'm just guessing this. I think she might be the most successful out of all the Passions because of how many movies she's done where she's like this big name. I mean, an old buddy of mine who I haven't talked to in a long time said that she was his celebrity crush. So that's how big of a name she has become, and stuff like that and everything. Everybody else might be known for like their Hallmark and Lifetimes and soap operas and maybe a few films here and there and stuff like that. But Mary Elizabeth Winstead is like a kind of a big movie name, like in the movie theaters and stuff like that. She's all over the place. So, um, so yeah, I mean, boy, we're getting off well for our first show, aren't we? I mean, we kind of running low on things here. So, um, but um, I mean, I'm to understand that I mean, you and I, we're currently watching the final season together to kind of catch you up and everything with Passions. So, to
Yep,
kind of
on
catch you up
YouTube.
and everything. We still got a bit more to go. We're only on what is it, October? I think we're on or something right now, and we still
Yep,
have a bit.
we're
We
getting
still have a few.
closer.
What's that?
It's getting closer until Miguel and Andorra comes back.
Yeah, that's not until December, unfortunately. So we still have
Yeah.
like another month or so to go through. If we're in October, we got to go through November, and then we'll be on to December when the two return. Yeah. Um. And yeah, I would just give anything if they would just find some sort of a way to bring this show back. It needs to come back. And
Yep.
yeah, I mean, there isn't any other soap quite like Passions. And it just ugh. And I miss the theme song. Oh man, that's my favorite song of all time. I even danced
Yeah.
to it in a recital one time.
Mm.
I love it very, very much. I love that theme song. I love Jane French. And it every time I hear it, I just start crying because I just miss Passions every time I hear it. And they gotta bring it back. If they ever bring the show back, they gotta use the same theme song. They get no remix, no remaster. Use the exact same track. So
But hey, they bring back other shows too, like Full House.
yeah, they did. Yep. Oh, look at that, everybody! Our time is up. I guess that's that for the ladies and gentlemen. We just got through our first podcast, people. Incredible! Thank you, Passions fans. You know what? You are all the best. We love it. We love you. Thank you, Casey, for joining me. Hope you had fun. Before we go tell 10 of your closest friends. Passions is remembered, not forgotten. The magic lives on. And it's not too late to see more. Tune in next weekend on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Just like today, we will be here discussing more stuff Passions for a full hour right here on the YouTube channel, Passions Supernatural Podcast. Don't miss an episode. See you next weekend. I'm Joe Velazquez. Thank you for watching. Remember, you are our passions for life. Thank you. So, great job, people. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you
Bye,
very
everybody.
much. Bye
Have a
bye.
great week.